Good morning and welcome to another Gribley's Folly. No, Instagram. No, believe it or not, I still don't want to turn on notifications. Thank you so much. Welcome to another Gribley's Folly Sunday antisocial hour. That time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while answering all of its questions. If you are a piece of humanity with a question for me, leave it in the comments down below and I will answer any question as long as it is hashtag AskGribs. Any question you could possibly think of will be answered. Now, I got into a little bit of trouble on Instagram this week. We'll get to that. There's plenty of your questions to answer, and I have a new beverage, man. And we'll talk about that too right after this fish. So, I did a thing. I did every now and then I do an out of character thing. And by that I mean really, really insult someone on the internet. And I couldn't it happened before I could stop myself. I'm just like scrolling through Instagram, right? By the way, you should follow me at Gribley's Folly. There's a lot of cool stuff over there, and there's gonna be more cool stuff coming up. I wish I could tell you all the cool stuff that's gonna be coming up, but I can't because it's still a secret. So, Instagram, in its wisdom, suggested that I might like the page of a spiritual healer. The page of an author, teacher, seeker, shamanic healer, and counselor, Tibetan singing bowl healer, and artist. It suggested that I might like this page, and so I looked at it. And, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. I don't think her name is on this, so we will just, it is. You know what? I don't care. Go troll this person. It doesn't bother me. No, that's wrong. Who would Jesus troll? Definitely not a shaman. A white shaman from Gatlinburg. Anyway, it shows me this thing, and I'll read it. I'll show you the poster, and I'll just read it in case I forget to show it. There's going to be some kind of workshop. No, there's not a workshop. It's a journeying. It's a journey. It's a shamanic journeying for healing and power. And this poster is plastered on the face of a wolf, and there's a stylized wolf paw with 5 toes and some claw. Anyway, in the Great Smoky Mountains of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I just couldn't help myself. I just left a comment that said, and the other thing is that it's Michael Harner's, who I found out he's like some kind of cult leader. I researched him. Michael Harner's Way of the Shaman trademark, or R symbol, registered trademark. Right. And so I commented, nothing conveys spiritual transcendence like the R symbol and a bunch of white people calling themselves shaman in Gatlinburg. And what happened was not that this caused, I'm sure it probably did cause some consternation, but the lady just immediately deleted the comment. And so she didn't comment back. There was no drama. There was nothing like that. But then, because I not only looked at this thing, but commented on it, Instagram started showing me shaman profiles. So the longest running joke on my channel is that I am a level 50 shaman with the answers from the transcendental spirit world to bring to you when you act, wow, oh, there's fire everywhere. So the longest running joke on my channel is that I am a level 50 shaman with intimate knowledge of the transcendental spirit world so that I can bring you authoritative answers to your Ask Gribs questions. And the butt of that joke are these people. This is who I'm making fun of. This is, dude, you're like a 28-year-old white person. You're not a shaman. I'm so sorry to break it to you. You have no special knowledge. Furthermore, it's incredibly offensive to indigenous peoples that you freaking culturally appropriate their shamanism. You're literally the butt of a joke that I tell every week on my YouTube channel. Anyway, so Instagram started suggesting all these other woo-woo spiritual healer, all this stuff to me. And what I picked up on was I am the storm hashtag, specifically this dude who looks, kind of like me, average looking dude. He's probably in better shape. And he's standing in the woods. He's got a flannel shirt. He's got an axe over his shoulder. And then photoshopped over the woods, there's like some cloud texture. I remember that cloud texture from Photoshop like CS3. And then masked out of the cloud texture behind him over his back are angel wings. And then in scripty letters at the top, it says, I am the storm. No, you're not. You're not a storm. Have you ever been in a storm? It doesn't even work on a metaphorical level. Like, I understand what you're saying is, I got this. I can handle whatever life throws at me. You can't. You can't handle whatever life throws at you. Even if you can't, like, if you're a freaking monk meditating in the Himalayas, right? And life throws stuff at you, maybe you can be at peace with it. Like, maybe you can be at peace with loss of a loved one or chronic illness or whatever. But you're not the loss of the loved one, and you're not the chronic illness. Like, if that's the storm, you're not it. It kicked your ass. You're just a weenie little person. I'm all for like motivation and determination and stuff like that, but like the idea that you are a force of nature is just a little bit arrogant. Like, I have been through some storms. Actually, I don't even have to be figurative with this. I have been through real storms, and I was scared shitless because real storms are incredibly powerful and they will kill you. What? You're not in a storm. You're not even like a breeze. You're just a freaking person. Why can't it be okay that you're just a person? Why do you have to make this stuff? You're not an angel. You're definitely not a guy that knows how to use an axe. Well, now I feel bad because it looks like he's a veteran with PTSD. So whatever you got to do, man, whatever you got to do to get through. I mean, you're still not a storm. I am smoking my last little bit. I'm getting close to the end of this tin. Last little bit of Foundry Victorian luxury pipe tobacco. As you can see, not much left there. And then I have some new tobaccos to crack into, sent to me by Les Brady, who also sent this beverage. He didn't send the Hydro Flask. That was from a hipster friend of mine. But I am drinking Earl Grey's Double Bergamot. And I did look it up. It is bergamot and not bergamot. Double bergamot tea. God, that's hot. Bergamot rhymes with hot. Okay, so what I've learned about this tea so far is that I do actually like it, which is a new thing for me. Tea and tobacco. Do you watch my channel? Are you watching this video right now? I don't want to insult you, but I don't generally like the tea that I have tried, which is of the green variety or the southern variety where it's not sweet enough if there's not so much sugar that the spoon can stand up by itself when you're mixing it. Like, if the spoon falls to the side of the pitcher, you need to add more sugar. So those are really the only two kinds of tea I've tried, in spite of the fact that we have a couple of really good tea houses here in town. So Les Brady sent me this, and I had a cold this week, and so I was like, I'm going to try that tea. And because I've always been disappointed that tea doesn't have the flavor of coffee, like it doesn't have the volume of flavor of coffee or of a good pipe, I put 3 tea bags in a cup of tea and let that steep for like 10 minutes. And I was up till about 3 o'clock that morning. And so what I have discovered is not only does this have, it's still really hot. Not only does this tea have a wonderful Indian tea leaf, but also citrusy flavor, which is quite nice, actually. This has about the same amount of caffeine as a Monster energy drink. Francis Barnett asked Gribbs, I've been watching videos of Appalachian clog dancing, and it occurred to me that clog dancing would be great for your Battle Rattle project. It must burn a heck of a lot of calories. How about it, Gribbs? Give it a try. No, I'm not going to give that a try, and here's why. Though I was mostly raised in Appalachia, I was born in the Deep South, so that would be cultural appropriation akin to the shaman thing. And that's the only reason why I'm not a clog dancer. Over a pipe, asked Gribbs. Will you be plinking for fun? He's talking about my air rifle, which is over there, but I'm lazy. Will you be plinking for fun, or will you hone your marksmanship skills with the traditional positions of prone, standing, sitting, and kneeling? Maybe you will get good enough to take on the teenagers at your local 4-H club. Yeah, well, Martin, maybe I will. See, this is good. This is good. This helps me determine where my ego is still attached, right? If when people poke at my marksmanship and I get all riled up, that's because I have too much ego associated with the fact that I'm a damn good shot, Martin. Damn good. I can shoot a flea off a dog's back at 500 yards. I don't have a dog, but I don't know why I would do that for a neighbor's dog. Like, just get some flea medicine for your dog. I would like to get good at the sort of 10-meter match stuff, offhand, standing, because that's something I've never done. I've always shot from the steadiest position that I could possibly get. I don't understand the seated position. Like, if you're seated, couldn't you just go prone? What is the point of that position? Anyway, I looked into doing an Appleseed, and I might be pretty interested in doing an Appleseed. And I bet I could compete just fine with those teenagers, Martin. Francis Barnett asked Gribbs, have you ever been brought to tears by the beauty of a landscape? Have you ever unintentionally walked in a complete circle when lost in the great outdoors? I'll answer the second question first. I've never been lost in the great outdoors, which is not like, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I've always been cautious enough and lazy enough that I don't wander too far off trail and get lost. There has been a couple of times, when I was still on the trail, but I wasn't quite sure what trail I was on. And I did walk around. I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was walking in a big circle, but I was like, I don't want to be walking in this big circle. Why am I like, can't be the right trail? And I had to backtrack. And that was the only time I ever actually had to use my compass because the trail map wasn't updated and there was new trails. And anyway, and have I ever been brought to tears by the beauty of the landscape? I don't think so. I don't think I have literally cried at the beauty of the landscape. And beauty isn't what I necessarily associate with landscapes. I think landscapes can be beautiful. I mean, obviously, I'm a landscape photographer in a big way, and but it's less the beauty and more wonder at the fact that such places can exist. But I don't think it's ever brought me to tears. Usually because when I reach those scenic vistas, I'm too out of breath to cry. Typing Piper asked Gribbs, if zombies aren't real, what about post-nuclear mutants? I got no problem with mutants. I think that, if there's going to be post-nuclear mutants, the story needs to be set at least 50 years in the future, right? Because things have to have time to mutate. It's not like you can get radiated and turn into a mutant. You just turn to someone with radiation sickness. But your children could turn into mutants down the line. So yeah, what I don't get about zombies is why people don't think zombies would need to eat something other than brains. Like, zombies are either supernatural, they're being reanimated by some spiritual entity, which okay, cool, that's fine. But if that's the case, why is the spiritual entity using zombies? Why not just this is my problem with ghosts. Why be scared of ghosts? Because if they can throw books off the shelves and haunt you with opening doors and stuff, and they want to hurt you, why don't they just reach into your chest and stop your heart? Why would they need to go through all the other stuff? So why would this spiritual entity waste its time animating corpses to come get you? Why wouldn't it just get you? So that's one thing with zombies. And then the other thing is, if you believe in the natural zombies, like the disease-driven, super rabies or whatever, why don't they need to eat? Why can't you stop them with a couple of gunshots to the chest? Why aren't they just normal angry people? Where do they get the superpowers? They don't exist. Typing Piper asks Gribbs, if Epstein didn't kill himself, is it possible he is still alive? I think it's possible he never existed in the first place. Like, has anyone here ever met Jeffrey Epstein? I haven't. Like, all I know is that the TV shows me a picture. I don't watch TV. I'm better than that. All I know is the internet shows me a picture, and they say this dude is a pedophile rapist, and he hung out with Trump, and he hung out with Clinton, and he hung out with whoever. That's all I know. I cannot verify any of this independently. And so, looking at the media narrative, I find it very hard to believe that if such a person did such things and died in a jail controlled by the Justice Department while one of his possible co-conspirators is president, I find it very hard to believe that that person actually did commit suicide, especially given the videos that keep disappearing and stuff like that. So, you know, in normal world, when we're just discussing this, no, he didn't kill himself. He got murdered, or he was allowed to kill himself, or whatever. To the premise of your question, I guess he could still be alive. But then we start getting into, if nothing we believe is true, like if nothing the media tells us is true, then you can believe whatever you want. And what's the point of that, right? Like, how do you even discuss that? Again, Typing Piper. Does KISS stand for Keep It Simple Stupid or Knights in Satan's Service? Or is there another answer? Keep it Satan's service. Keep it Knights in Simple Stupid. Knights in Satan Stupid. Knights in Satan Stupid. You know, I've been realizing that the more I get into like metal, because I'm pretty into Metallica, first 4 Metallica albums, big fan. And I remember in school when people said that Metallica were devil worshippers and you shouldn't listen to them. And it's funny because my dad was a minister, and I could have just gone and asked him. I could have been like, do you think this heavy metal band worships Satan? And he would have been like, no, they're a heavy metal band. There's a different thing between like Satan worship and talking about Satan in some of your lyrics so you can like be a shock rock act. But I really took it to heart. I think it was because it was so tempting. It was like, oh man, I'm a middle school aged male. Like, heavy metal seems really, really awesome. Like, way too awesome. But then it must be the work of Satan. It must be the devil. And so I heard the Knights in Satan's Service thing. I heard AC/DC stood for Antichrist Devil Child. Just all that stuff. And I really paid more attention to it than I should have. And I wish that I had talked to my dad and he would have set me straight. Typing Piper is on a roll this week. He says, if World War III is pissable, then I'm glad R. Kelly lives in America. Ew. Typing Piper asks Gribbs, if we are just now learning war sucks, what did we think before? We thought whatever the powers that be told us to think. I mean, I think if you look at the Crusades, like, did the soldiers in the Crusades, like, why were they doing it? And it's kind of the same reason we did stuff before there was TV and radio, and you did it because your superiors told you to do it. And they had some reasons, but typically the people fighting under them didn't have the critical thinking ability or the knowledge base to question those reasons. Typing Piper comes in for the kill here. Typing Piper asks Gribbs, for being a level 50 shaman, there is a lot you don't seem to have answers for. Why can't a level 50 shaman see a few weeks into the future? It's a good question, Typing Piper, and I'm glad that you asked because it's something a lot of people don't understand. As a level 50 shaman, it is not my job to see into the future. It is my job to create the future, to weave it from the threads of reality. And so that's why I don't know what's going to happen, is because I'm basically doing this one day at a time. Howard asks Gribbs, your videos seem to improve when preceded by at least half a bottle of wine. A robust Zinfandel usually works for me. Can you recommend any other pairings? Absolutely. So glad you asked. Mad Dog 2020 is a brilliant wine from the wrong side of the tracks region. And if you drink half a bottle of MD 2020 before you watch my video, I guarantee it'll be more fun. That's it for this week. A lot of good stuff coming up that I can't tell you about. Super secret projects in the works. We will have another airgun video coming out this week. And I'm getting ready to record a Battle Rattle update that I'll probably release tonight, which is Saturday. And then this, of course, will come out tomorrow. So, as always, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.